Good evening. This is Vivian, and I know that it's not 7 o'clock. I got it. But right now, I'm just uploading videos. I'm not sticking to a time schedule, and I apologize for that. But, the videos are going to be here. So tonight, the last time we spoke on the book, A Year of Positive Thinking, Daily Inspiration, Courage, and Wisdom by Cindy Spiegel, we talked about you deserving everything and that everything is temporary, including bad things. And this too shall pass, right? So if you think about it, you deserve everything you want. And all the bad stuff that's going on, either now or in the past, shall pass. And then your life will take on a whole new turn. Okay, so tonight, we're talking about positive self-talk. There's power in it. And how to get rid of that negative self-talk. Because, when we talk to ourselves negatively, it has a negative effect on our lives, right? So I'm going to read in the book, if you're following along in the book, the topic in the book says the power of self-talk. I just kind of changed it around a little bit, I can make it a little bit more in your face. So, we're going to talk about the power of self-talk, and I'm going to read the anecdote, and then we'll get into talking about it. How about that? All right. The most important conversation you will ever have are the ones you have internally. What you say to yourself becomes your truth. Praise yourself often and share your success with others. Speak about yourself with patience, forgiveness, and love. Humility and pride are not at odds with each other. You can be humble and still be proud of your accomplishments. What you say to yourself inwardly affects the way you experience life outwardly. Be kind with your words to yourself because they are incredibly powerful. Your self-talk has a lot of power. Basically, when you're talking to yourself, you're pretty much training your subconscious mind. And that training will determine pretty much how your life turns out. If you're training your mind to talk to yourself in a negative manner and tell yourself all the bad things that you've done and how terrible you are and this, that, all these bad negative things, then your brain is trained to think that way. And you'll notice that things just get worse and worse and worse, right? But if your talk to yourself is that you're magnificent, you get things done, you're beautiful, you're handsome, I'm not going to say not, you're on time, you're focused, all of those positive things. I can leave all the you're not this out because that's what you don't want, right? So if you think about it, if you speak the way you do want your life to be, then that's where it's going. So I have some notes here, so I'm gonna be looking down every once in a while. You know, right? So, so the first thing I wrote down was affirmations. When you say affirmations, say them or write them. Actually, both. Write them in a manner that it's positive versus a negative statement. Negative statements are those where you say in the statement what you don't want. For instance, I am not a procrastinator. Well, great. You're not a procrastinator. What are you? Say what you are. I'm so happy and grateful now that I get things done on time. I am consistent. Right? So that's a more positive statement than I'm not a procrastinator. or I'm not hanging around with bad people. Well, okay, you don't want to hang around with bad people, right? So say on the positive end, I am so happy and grateful now that all the people that come into my life are positive, uplifting people. Those are the people you want. So that's a more positive statement. So try to switch it around, switch your statements around to not focus on those bad qualities. Yes, you do want to write them down, because you got to identify them so that you can know what the complete opposite is. So identify them, write them down. And Bob Proctor, I think I've told you guys this before. Bob Proctor gave us an exercise to do. So you take 2 pieces of paper. One has your negative sign on. These are the negative qualities of your life that you no longer want. You don't want these in your life anymore because they're not serving you, right? They're not serving you well. So on the other piece of paper, you have a positive sign. This is my self-image. This is the self-image that I see myself at. And on the negative side, be really, 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 really honest with yourself. These things that are negative, these things that are in your life right now, these things that you've been telling yourself for years and years and years that you need to get rid of. Write it down. Doesn't matter how long the list is. And don't start feeling bad if your list is long. If your list is short, great. But if your list is long, great. It's the fact that you're identifying it is what makes the difference. Then you take the positive side and you write the exact opposite of what you just said on the negative side. The exact opposite. Okay? And then read it out loud, acknowledge it, burn it. Burn it, flush it down the toilet. Just make sure you get rid of it, and do it like ceremoniously. Because it's a mind game with yourself. To tell yourself, okay, I burn that away. I no longer need those things. I no longer want to have those things. And then start reading your positive affirmations. I am so happy and grateful that I am. I am statements are awfully powerful. And, we've talked about that before as well, right? I am statements, whew, baby. And say them every day. If you don't say them every day, I can tell you, a lot of times I tell you these things from personal experience. I can tell you that when you stop or when you take a break, those old negative feelings and emotions and habits and all that stuff start creeping back in there, and you're like, no, get back. I didn't tell you could come back. So Wesley Virgin, I'm talking about Wesley Virgin. He gives a lot of positive affirmations in his program, The Overnight Millionaire. And I've read so many books, listened to so many stuff on YouTube, actually audiobooks as well, that Wesley suggested. And because that program was like my catalyst, it's like my trampoline, my jumping off point into really deep diving into the world of personal development. And so since then, I've gotten involved with Bob Proctor's coaching program. I've listened to Napoleon Hill. I didn't even know who Napoleon Hill was before that. I am now in a program, the ibuumerang program, who is led by Holton Buggs, who also is really heavily into personal development. And he has some very, very encouraging words, and he can just make you see yourself in what he's saying. Peggy McColl, who wrote the book The Demand Principle, which I'm also reading right now, very insightful. And you know, guys, I was always talking about Lisa Nichols. I love Lisa Nichols. And as I was preparing to make this video, I actually listened to a video that she had, and there's some really powerful suggestions in there. And I want to talk to you about that in a second. But, you know, getting rid of negative self-talk is just developing new habits. You know, because all our paradigms are habits. Because if you can have good paradigm, bad paradigm, bad paradigm, right? The ones that make you do stuff that you know aren't good for you, those are the bad guys, right? But if you train your subconscious mind to only think the good ones, only respond to the good ones, because basically when you train your subconscious mind for the good side, then you start doing good things. In Peggy's book, The Demand Principle, she mentions she created this thing called the Power Life Script. So basically, it's the same thing that Wesley Virgin talks about in creating your ideal life. And it's the exact same thing, just call something different. You write down your ideal life as you are visioning it, as you are seeing it. Because, you know, you don't get what you want, you get what you picture, right? So if you picture your life differently than what you are now, if you need to do that because maybe that's the goal that you're going for, then write it down. Write it down, read it, and listen to it. Because as you're reading it, record yourself. Record yourself, because I think that's the step that Wesley didn't talk about, but Peggy does talk about in her Power Life Script. So if you're going to write it down so you can visualize it. You know, writing creates the vision. So visualize it, then say it out loud. Record yourself saying it out loud, and then listen to it every day, every single day. And then it gets into your head. You know, when you say it, listen to yourself in your own voice. Your subconscious mind hears that. And one of the things I heard Bob say about the subconscious mind is that you can listen to other people say affirmations to you forever. But your subconscious mind has this discernment in that believes that somebody else saying it to you, they have ulterior motives in saying positive things to you. But when you say it, it's more believable and it soaks in better because it's you. It's you declaring that this is right for you and your life. So when you say it, when you write it down, read it out loud, and record yourself saying it so that you can keep going back and listening to yourself saying it, whether you're awake or whether you're asleep, preferably awake. But listen to yourself. Listen to it daily. So 2-3 times a day if that's what you need. But do that. You know, try that exercise. So now I'm going to tell you about what Lisa Nichols said in the video that I was looking at. And I might actually attach that video to this recording because I think it's important that you really hear the details from her, because I'm kind of like summarizing because I was trying to write down what she said, because I'm going to do it myself. I think it's a wonderful exercise. So there's 4 categories. There's health and wellness, finance and business, relationships, and spirituality. So she says successful people have more of that chatter in their head, right? That those things that make us that those negative chatter, you can't do this, all these things in your head because you're busier, People that have nothing going on, they don't have as much chatter because they don't want to have as much chatter, right? They don't want to have anything going on, anything positive going on. So they don't have these two fighting against each other so much. But so here's the deal. So you get several sheets of paper, probably like 7 to 10 pieces of paper, however much it takes. And get a blue or black ink pen or a pencil. Lisa says she prefers pencil because, you can erase. And also get a red pen. Then here's what you do. You write down those negative things. Because she said, the negative self-talk, like the whole sentence, whatever that happens to be for you in each category. And it doesn't matter how many sentences you have, you just want to write them all down. So say for instance, you go into health and wellness. I don't know why I'm so fat. That's a negative, right? So just write that, skip 4 lines, then write the next sentence. And then say that, skip 4 lines, write the next sentence until you got it all out. All those negative things that you've said to yourself over and over again about your health and wellness. Then you go to finance and business and so on and so forth. So you go through all 4 categories and you write the lie. Because negative self-talk is just a lie. It's not the truth. It's just what you're saying to yourself at the time. So then you go back to that list, and it doesn't matter whether it's short or long, preferably long, because it takes thought to think of all those things, and it takes courage to be honest with yourself even, right? It takes a lot of courage to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself or you're not going to get rid of it. So then you go back to your list and then you write in red the truth. I am so happy and grateful now that I am the healthiest I have ever been, and I am in great shape. I love, whatever it is, the opposite of what you just wrote. Write that down. And then until you can actually believe what's in red, you leave it there. But when you start to develop that belief in what's in red, then you leave it there. And then when you start developing that belief and really believe what's in red, you're going to scratch out what's in the black or blue or the pencil or erase it. And then all of a sudden you got a page full of red. Now red, in school always indicates you did something wrong, right? But in this case, that red indicates the strength that you had to adopt the positive side of your self-talk versus the negative side of your self-talk. So also she said, write yourself a love letter. And I did a segment on writing yourself a love letter, and writing a love letter to people that you care about. Doesn't matter whether you actually mail it. Just write the letter. Write the letter to yourself, and then you write what you love most about you, what you admire most about you. Tell yourself that you honor yourself. Tell yourself that you celebrate yourself. Tell yourself that you're beautiful, gorgeous, whatever it is, okay? That you love and honor yourself. And write a really beautiful letter to yourself, as if you were writing it to a friend or to a lover. Write it to yourself. Say those positive words about yourself, because saying that about yourself really just picks up your spirit. And if you keep writing and actually keep the letter, put it in an envelope. Not necessarily mailing it to yourself, but keep the letter and put it in an envelope. And every once in a while, go in there and pull it out and read it. And really get into the emotion of loving yourself enough to write yourself a love letter. It's a beautiful thing. When I was listening to it, I was like, man, this is going to take some work. right? So I can go first. I got to do the first exercise. And then when you get to that stage, not necessarily you want to do it right now, because you might still have a lot of that negative self-talk that you don't even know you have. So you really have to sit down and think about it, right? So think about it, write it down, then put the positive things in red, and just go with it every day, looking at it, telling yourself the good things. And then when you know, and you will know, nobody else is not gonna know it but you. When you know that you have accepted those positive things, then and only then erase the negative ones and write yourself a love letter. Because you deserve it. You deserve to love yourself and have all the positive self-talk ever. So I'm going to I have some more notes and I'm going to read that for a second, because I think these tips are really good. So I looked up, how can you stop negative self-talk? And there were like eight tips on this website. And when I looked at them and read them, I thought it was magnificent. But the one that really stood out for me was the one, number 7, think like a friend. And what does that mean, think like a friend? Think like if your friend, you were having a conversation and your friend was constantly putting themselves down, what would you say to them to encourage them? That's the biggest thing. That'll be part of your love letter. Is whatever you would say to a friend to encourage them, to keep them from talking bad about themselves, say it to yourself. That reverses that whole negative conversation, because now you are your best friend. I'll read you the other 7 topics. Catch your critic. So I was talking about that this morning on Facebook, ironically enough, about the switching things. When you talk to yourself, when you find that you're switching, that you're talking to yourself in a negative way, switch it, catch it, monitor those thoughts. And I know Ariella Iorio, she's in this program called Done For You Services, and I'm part of that program. And actually, she's in partnership with Wesley Virgin. So she made a whole video on how to monitor your thoughts, or why you should monitor your thoughts, so that your thoughts are not affecting your outcome. So if you catch your critic, catch it, stop it, switch it around to something more positive. The second one is, remember that thoughts and feelings aren't always reality. Yeah. Sometimes the way we feel about something and the way we think about something isn't always the truth, because we as human beings tend to live by appearances. Whatever we can see in front of our face, we think that's the truth, and that is not always the truth. So we get emotionally involved with what we see in front of us, instead of thinking the truth, which is what we want, how we want our lives to be, versus the way things are. If the things are good for you, great. Then I'm not talking to you. But for those of us who tend to look at what's in front of us, bad, then we need to start realizing that that's not your reality. That's just what's happening right now. It's not your reality. Your reality is whatever it is, however you want your life to look. The third one is, give your inner critic a name. Well, I used to call her Lucy, because, my name is Vivian. My mom named me after Vivian Vance, who was Ethel to Lucy Ricardo, and then a lot of you are too young to remember this show. It was called I Love Lucy. So I used to call my inner critic Lucy. All right, Lucy. Yeah, look, step off, Lucy. You know, because when whatever you call your inner critic, that's what you call your inner critic. But my inner critic's name was Lucy. And girlfriend would just chatter. And I'm like, oh, could you stop talking to me that way? I don't like it. I'm not having it. Contain your negativity. That's number 4. Contain it. Bottle it up. Throw it out in the trash. Not inside the house. Don't throw that negativity in the trash inside the house, because that means you're keeping it in with you. Throw it outside. I mean, in the big dumpster down the street. You know, contain it. Don't let it stay bottled up in your body. With that exercise that I was telling you, Lisa Nichols did. That takes it out of your subconscious mind and puts it on a piece of paper, where you're going to eventually erase it and just erase it out of your life. Number 5, change negativity to neutrality. Be neutral about it. I don't care what you're talking about. You know, have no feeling about it whatsoever. You know, Dr. Joe Dispenza, the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, is that you have to become no one and no thing. Basically, you have to be neutral. That's also in Dr. Pritchard's book. It's U Squared. Is that you have to distance yourself from the negativity. You know, when somebody says something negative, interesting opinion, should be your only response. And I say response because there's a difference in reacting and responding. Responding requires thought. So if you think about it, it has nothing to do with you. If you react, you're going to react in a negative way. And I can tell you something, you know, so like for me, it takes a lot to make me angry. A lot. But when I get there, it takes a lot to bring me down, right? So I remember I was having this conversation with someone, and they just kept saying negative things to me and kept picking at me as if they were trying to pick a fight. And they were, actually. They were trying to pick a fight. And I think it angered them more that I wasn't participating in the fight. And then they said something about, not about me, but about somebody I loved. And I just blew up and went off. Who you think you're talking to? Blah, 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 blah. You don't have the right to do this. I just lost it. And for some reason, I seem to recall that when I did that, I felt horrible. It felt like somebody just laid and poured like oil all over my body. And I don't mean like the good kind. I mean motor oil. It's like, that feels horrible for me to do that. And it does. It makes it just kills your spirit when you react to something versus using your brain and responding to it in a way that pushes away the negative and stops them in their tracks versus having you fall down into their negativity. Because when I stopped myself from reacting to the situation, I went, oh, wait. Because I could literally see this person smiling because they got me to lose my cool, so to speak. And I'm like, why would you do that, Viv? That's all they wanted was for you to lose your cool. And then now you're buying into what they wanted. And so when you have that negative and you're not neutral, That's what happens. That's what happens. You fall into the negativity because you haven't separated yourself from it. Number 6, cross-examine your inner critic. Lucy, really? Why are you doing this? Then really ask the hard questions of yourself. Why are you doing this, and whatever this is? Why are you doing this? What can you do to switch it around? What paradigm are you letting in right now that's causing you to do this thing or not do whatever it is? Ask yourself the hard questions and be really honest with yourself. That's the only way you're going to get past anything, is to be really honest with you. Ask yourself the hard questions. Cross-examine your inner critic. Why are you saying this about yourself? This is absolutely not true. And just get in yourself, in your inner critic's face. All right, Lucy. Look, I don't know who you think you talking to. Just like if you got mad with somebody else, get mad with that paradigm. Say, look, I don't want you here. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I am worth more than that. So get out. I don't want to hear it. Step off. Just like you would somebody else. If an outside person other than yourself was talking to you like that, you would go off. But when you practice neutrality in the face of negativity, you don't do that because you have time to think, what does this really mean? And you can ask yourself, when you cross-examine yourself, all these hard questions. Why are you doing it? What triggered it? And because sometimes something triggers it, right? Some outside force or outside situation triggers these negative thoughts. So examine that and ask yourself these questions. What triggered this? And how can I prevent this from happening again? And then, of course, I'm going to go with number 7 again. Think like a friend. When you start talking to yourself negatively, think like you are your best friend, because guess what? You are. You are your best friend. You have to be. Because other people come and go in your life, but you're always going to have you. You're always going to be with you. So it might as well let the positive you be with you versus that person that speaks to you in a negative manner. And the last one is shift your perspective. Look at things in a different manner. Look at things differently. Those external things, that's just stuff that's happening around you. Imagine yourself in a bubble. None of this stuff can touch me. I am in a protective bubble. In here with all my good thoughts and feelings. That's just what's going on around me. My reality is, and insert positive. My reality is that I am living the best life. My net worth is over $50 million. I can be, do, and have whatever I want. I am gorgeous. I am healthy. I am whatever it is. Okay? So the power of self-talk can make your life this glorious thing. I'm not saying you won't ever, give in to the negative sometimes. You may. But don't beat yourself up about it, and don't talk negatively to yourself because you had a lapse in judgment. Examine it. I had a lapse in judgment. Oh, well. Those things happen, right? And if you are human, they may happen again. So if you think positively and you speak to yourself and you catch it when you have those negative thoughts and feelings, and you start speaking to yourself in the negative, switch it around, give it a name. Give it a name. Forgive yourself for whatever it is you think you did wrong. Read a book. Read a motivational book. Listen to some motivation, because sometimes you need that external talk. Somebody else saying exactly what it is that you want to think, and you can hear it, and then all of a sudden you start getting these positive messages that's coming in, and then you can start talking to yourself that way, and then start saying it every day. Record your Power Life script, because only you know what motivates you. Say your affirmations. Switch things around when you're talking negatively. Now, all of the mentors that I mentioned, Wesley Virgin, Ariella Iorio, Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's not with us anymore, but he can still be a mentor because you listen to him. Holton Buggs, Peggy McColl, Steve Harvey. I forgot, because Steve Harvey, I listen to Steve Harvey a lot now, because he's still a comedian, but he's become a motivational speaker. And I saw a video with him talking about how you can stop negative self-talk. Find something good about yourself. Lisa Nichols. Find something good about yourself. Write it down if you have to. Because sometimes we think of these good things and then it just kind of dissipates out of our head, because all that negative chatter keeps coming back in. When you find those good things about yourself, write them down. You're like, I'm not going to forget the good things about myself. Sometimes we do. So write it down as part of your Power Life script, because this is your self-image. This is where you want to be. This is the person you want to become. Be positive. Positive self-talk is the most magnificent thing you can ever do for yourself. Write yourself a love letter. You deserve it. You deserve to love yourself and get rid of all the negative conversations going on in your head. Get them out of your head on a piece of paper and then destroy them. However you do it, whether you do Bob Proctor's version, whether you do Lisa Nichols' version, or whether you do Peggy McColl's version, there's like several versions of how you can do this, but do it. Because it's a fantastic exercise, but you have to do it consistently. You can't just do it one time and say, oh, well, I'm done now. One of my fellow group members in the YouTube subscriber group that we're in, he made a video about the 2-cup method, and I think Ariella is the one that told us about that. And it's on YouTube, so if you want to look up how to do it, then you can look up how to do it. But you write all the negative stuff on one glass, and then all the positive stuff on another glass with a little sticky, and you fill the glass up, the negative glass up with water, and you say out loud all those negative things, those negative habits and attributes that you have, and then you pour it into the positive side. Now you want to say all the positive attributes that you have, and then drink it. So you're pouring out the negative, pouring into the positive, and changing. Basically what you're doing, changing of the guard, right? So you're changing all those negative things into a positive things, and drinking that into your body. That comes into your body, those positive things, and you've drowned the negative ones, and you've poured it into your positivity, and then you're drinking that as part of your self-development. That helps you also to have positive self-talk, because those are the things that you're going to think about when you even remember yourself doing that. So whichever one of those methods you want to use, or all of them if you want to use it, use a different one every day. I don't care. Just do something to make your daily life more positive. Okay, guys, I've talked enough. This is probably the longest video I've ever done on this channel. Well, maybe not, but I wanted you to have some armor, something that will really help you to bring your positive side out and get rid of that negative self-talk and bring on the power of the positive self-talk. Okay, guys, I thank you so much for watching. Down below, I left links to the programs for Wesley Virgin, which is the Overnight Millionaire. I left the link to the book, A Year of Positive Thinking, down there. And I also left a link to ibuumerang, the company that Holton Buggs started. And the reason I left that one down there is because Holton Buggs started this company as a way to give an opportunity to people who don't like to sell, kind of like me, but it's down there. You take a look at it. If you like it, great. If not, great. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching, and I appreciate you. And don't forget the links down below to help your mind change over to positive, and also to kind of get involved with maybe a company that is involved in personal development. And this book is magnificent. I really, really love it. So take it easy, guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. But in the meantime, I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I love you guys so much. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey guys, so I decided to add in the Lisa Nichols. She's being interviewed by someone, but she's telling all the steps to the exercise. So I wanted to have her tell it in her own voice. That way you don't miss a beat. Because what I did was basically a summary of what I heard and things that I wrote down. So I might have written some things down a little, might have missed something. So I want to make sure you got the whole exercise from Lisa's mouth. So go ahead and you're gonna listen to it in this next segment, okay? So by the way, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you see more videos from me. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I had a lot of chatter in my head. You know that chatter that follows you everywhere you go? Sometimes it's a consultant, one person in your head. Sometimes it feels like there's a committee.
Choir.
In my head, yeah. And
not a pretty sounding choir.
Right. Sometimes the entire Verizon network is following me around, right?
Right.
Everywhere you go, they're like right behind me, telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. I come from South Central, so how could I have $1 million lifestyle? I'm not ever going to get married. All chatter, 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 chatter. And so, again, I created this exercise for me. A lot of my exercises came out of saving Lisa, and then when it worked, I figured, well, if it can work for me, then it might be able to work for 1 million people. So this is called exposing the lies, and I've named it that because I get that chatter is a lie, and when we buy into it, only then does it become our truth. Mm-hmm. Only when I say yes to the chatter, to the negative self-talk, does it become my truth. Mm-hmm. So I particularly call it exposing the lies. So this is what you do. Get a pen and paper. Now this is going to require paper, a lot of paper to write. Because the more successful you are, the more chatter you have, by the way. Because it's more to judge.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Yep. And I've done
a lot of that chatter.
I've done this with PhDs. I've done this with Congress people. The more successful you are, the more chatter you have. People who are not producing a lot in the world, they don't have a lot of chatter because they're okay with where they are. People who are producing a lot in the world, they have more categories to judge. Okay? So you want to separate 4 categories. You want to look at health and wellness. You want to look at finance and business. You want to look at relationship, love, and familia. And then you want to look at spirituality and faith. Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same categories we've got.
And you want to break them. You want to understand that you're answering this question. You're going to do this exercise for each one of these categories. Those can all run together.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got to tell you, I went through. I completed a relationship.
Very good.
I completed a relationship.
Congratulations on the completion.
Thank you. Doesn't that feel better?
It does.
So I broke up with this guy. I completed my relationship.
There, congratulations.
And I was devastated. And my heart, I was using the language, but my heart was still engaged. And I was like, even though I knew I needed to, it's still like, I'm single again, and all that stuff. So I pulled out my book. And I didn't pull it out because I'm the author. I pulled it out because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I knew the exercise that was in it. And so I'm on the plane. The funniest thing, I'm on the plane, and I'm reading the book, and I'm doing this exercise, Expose the Lies, I'm about to give you. And this woman who was sitting, I was like in 3B, she's like in 2B. She looks back, she sees my face from the cover. She goes, oh, now I got my hair in a head wrap. I mean, it was cute head wrap. I wasn't totally, amazingly ugly on the plane, but it was a nighttime overnight flight. I had my hair wrapped up. I had to be on television the next morning. I was in my internal self. I was healing. I was giving myself what I needed. And I had a lot of chatter going on. Why did it not work? Am I going to always be single? Why am I not marriage material? Just junk, lies. So I'm doing this Expose the Lies. And it's not fun, the first part. It's not fun. This is a heavy lift right here. You're going to get a breakthrough when you do this, but you got to get through it. And this woman, while I'm writing, she says, oh my God, I love Lisa Nichols, not knowing that it's me. I didn't have my afro out, right? I love Lisa Nichols. I love her in The Secret. Oh my God, is that her new book? And I just kind of nodded because I realized she didn't recognize me, and I didn't really want to be recognized at this moment. Yeah. And she says, oh my God, it's a new book. And I'm writing, and she goes, can I see your book? And I said, no. I said, right now I need it. I knew that I needed to stay on the work. I didn't need to become the teacher. Mm-hmm. I didn't need to become the celebrity. I needed to heal the woman. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by no is a complete sentence. I said, no, I'm doing some critical work right now in it. She said, oh, okay. And I went on to do the work. And the way it looks is you get a blue or black pen, and you get a red. I'm sorry, you have either a blue or black pen or a pencil. I actually am beginning to really like the pencil. Blue or black pen or pencil, and then you get a red pen, right? And you get a notepad or a piece of paper, at least 7 to 10 pieces of paper. And you write down in the blue or black pen or pencil, you write down the lie that you tell yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'll never be successful. And you skip 4 lines and you write the next lie. And stay in one category. So let's say this is finances. I'm always going to struggle in business. I'll never get business right. You skip 4 lines, you go down and you write it again. My colleagues are better than me and I feel like I'm a fake. Skip 4 lines, you write the next thing. Then think about your health. I'm gonna die on a diet. I'm gonna be in a casket with a Nutri-Grain bar on a diet. I'll never be sexy. Whatever it is about health. And you just keep going. Then you go into love relationships. I'll never get married. Skip 4 lines. I'm not good enough to be a wife. I'm just girlfriend material. Skip 4 lines. My husband will never treat me right. He'll always cheat on me. Skip 4 lines. So you just write the lies, skip 4 lines, write the lies. Don't try to do anything with the lie first. Just keep dumping. Because they're just going to keep coming up because you're in that category. So you want to keep dumping. You don't have to keep them category specific for everyone who's all organized. Just let it run out. I just have you doing the categories so you can address every area in your life. You don't forget something. You may fill up 6 pages. I've had clients fill up 16 pages. Mm-hmm. And the more you fill up, the better you are. Because the more you just got out. So don't be embarrassed. I have clients say, I'm so embarrassed, I got 19 pages. I say, congratulations. I'm concerned about the woman or man who comes to me with 2 pages. Because, really? That's it?
Yeah, they're not in touch with what's really going on.
Or they're not ready to accept it. They're not ready to acknowledge it. They're not ready to expose it. So expose the lies. So you write this. You're writing, and you're going to feel like crap. There's no sexy way for me to put that. You're gonna feel like crap because you're recognizing all the junk that's in you. It's like noticing all the rotten food that's in your refrigerator. You're like, whoa, right. Imagine how I felt on the plane with my book in my face. With a woman trying to have time. and I'm doing the exercise after having written the book, and I had 9 pages, an easy 9 pages. Once you've exposed the lies, and black, blue, or pencil, you skip the 4 lines. You then get the red pen, and you write the truth. Now this is where you're going to want to feel stuck. I just said want to. You're going to choose to feel stuck. But you know that there's a truth because you chose that to be the lie. People say, I don't know what, but you chose that to be the lie. So you couldn't have come up with a lie if you didn't know that there was a truth. Now, here's the deal. You're going to write the truth even if you can't believe it yet. That's the deal. People normally don't want to write it, Marcy, until they can believe it. That'll come later. Write the truth that you know to be so. And don't just write a placated light truth. Like one of my lies used to be, I'm ugly, I'm unattractive. I felt ugly for years. I mean, just absolutely ugly. So I couldn't write I am beautiful. That was too big a leap for me. So for years I'd say, I am divinely designed in God's unique beauty. Now I can take that.
Yeah. I'm
divinely designed in God's unique beauty. Then I added once, I don't get to look like the supermodel, but she doesn't get to look like me.
All right.
Like, until I can take that on.
Yeah.
And then one day, I did the exercise, because I've done this exercise for probably about 10 years. I did it, and that one didn't come up. Because I had given myself, it's like you have a boombox. I'm an older lady now, so I know the boombox days with the dual CD player. You got a CD player over here with all these negative tracks. We've never laid tracks on the powerful CD. We just try to dismantle this by saying, I'm not ugly, I'm not stupid, but those are all negative words. What if you give yourself a whole new truth? So the red is your new CD. So you write the truth down. You just start going through each one, writing the truth down. Watch how your energy, you get goosebumps on the back of your neck. You're just writing your truth down. Some truths you're going to be able to say, yep, that is the truth. Why would I even think that? I know this is the truth. Don't put on your gloves. Don't put on your pink boxing gloves and beat yourself up. Just acknowledge it. We do that. We jump back between consciousness, intellectual, and ding dong. We do that. We get to do that. We're human, right? So write your truth down. No attachment to why you don't have it all the time. Just keep writing it down. And then you are to read the lie, then the truth every day. Just take a moment, take 10 minutes, the lie, the truth, the lie, the truth, the lie, the truth, the lie, for 7 days. Just lie, truth, just read it. Just passing by. You don't have to read all of them. Just flip a page, lie, truth, okay. Lie, truth, lie, truth. So I want you to get the visual. Then on the 7th day, I want you to go in, and which is why I chose pencil. I kind of graduated pencil. I want you to go in, and I want you to erase all the lies. And you're just left with the truth. I want you to go in, I want you to put lines, if you chose pen, put lines through the lies. Now, what's going to happen is, when you, 30 days out, 60 days out, that chatter comes up again, because it will come up again. Your mind will automatically go from the lie to the truth. The neurolinguistic program, you now trained your brain. And the reason why is that red is going to stand out more than the black, the blue, or the pencil.
Wow.
So you're going to keep having chatter. But now you got something to balance. Now you got something to make it, to nullify it. I mean, it's so powerful.
What an amazing exercise.
I
actually haven't ever heard of that particular way of doing that. That's brilliant. Really brilliant exercise. And that is, I mean, you know, what we tell ourselves determines how much we love and honor ourselves or don't love and honor ourselves. And this is a beautiful, powerful, brilliant way to shift that so that we have
can do it too.
New neural pathway. Great.
We have our teens do it, and they come back and they go, "That's amazing! I now believe all the red stuff." You know? So,
and I would actually start that exercise with even people young.
Absolutely.
What would you say? 8, 9?
Oh yeah. Oh, my son did it the first time he did it at 8.
Fantastic.
And all he had was like a page. He had maybe like 7 things, and he sat there and goes, "Mom, I think that's all." I said, "Okay, well now let's put the truth in." And he was so excited writing the truth. Now he's 16. You know, he has a different set a different set of chatter. And he goes, I know, Mom, let me write the truth down. And then one day he was writing the truth. He goes, why do we even have the negative self-talk when we know the truth? I said, because we're human.
Yeah, and that's our human journey, our life lessons is learning.
And this is ever growing. So the same chatter I had 10 years ago is not the same chatter I have now. So this is one of those evergreen, ever-growing exercises. You never outgrow it. You don't do it once and you know it forever. It moves with you through life. It's that tool that's in your back pocket. And the very last thing I'll say is, can you write yourself a love letter? Write yourself a love letter. You know, when your heart expanding and all your endorphins are engaged and you have chicken skin and your fingers are tingling when you just meet that him, you know that, oh my God, you talk. Can you write yourself a love letter at that same level of excitement about you? Inside the love letter, I want you to have the phrase, what I love most about you, what I value, what I admire you for, and thank you for being. Just want that language in there. What I admire you for, what I love about you most, thank you for being. I honor you for. And just write your love letter. Man, this is in the book, because I'm just pulling little nuggets that are in the book. I had people send me their love letters. And this one woman sent her love letter, and it was really wrinkled. And she said at the bottom, it's wrinkled because I cried the entire time. I cried tears of joy and tears of healing while I loved myself out loud. And her paper was just, literally it was a wet sheet of paper, and she melded into us. And she said, I've never cried so hard for me, with me, about me. Write yourself a love letter and tuck it away. And read it as if the most amazing person on the planet wrote you a love letter, and pull it out periodically.